people about it, and that's how I've been selling it.
And it just goes. And now this year, I'm starting to see more and more things for our area where so-and-so bee company and, that's on the other side of town selling nukes for like 175. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Jeez. You're wrecking the whole market because you're going to sell your 4 or 5 or whatever you got. And then it's going to be like, everybody else can be like, well, so-and-so sold them for 175. Well, I ain't so-and-so.
And he's out.
He's out right now.
That's like we got here. I mean, our honey sells, well, it was selling for more than what yours was. But then you got people that go in and look at the store and say, oh, that honey's only, so they try to sell their honey to compete with the stores. And then it just makes it so everybody else looks like they're overpriced and stuff.
Yeah, that's not my business model. Go to the store and buy it. Why are you talking to me then?
Right.
And they're not buying honey at the stores. They're just buying a bottle that says honey.
Yeah, you're buying syrup.
Or stuff from Argentina and wherever it says on the back, this came from my backyard.
Right.
They have to buy it, and you can point. It came right from there.
Yeah. Well, I show them pictures of it. It's right there's where it came from.
This year for me is kind of an assessment year. I think too, where we're going to assess our game plan and how we're going to beekeep moving forward. Right? What's the things that are going to make my operation profitable?
I got to ration these for the next year. Apparently,
Lee's not bringing any more.
No, he's not bringing any this year.
My daughter actually drank the last bottle I had here.
Speaking of
Lee just made it to Louisville. So he left early this morning, I think.
I drove that far today, just in the other direction.
But so yeah, Brad and I, are you froze, Brad? No, you're not froze. You just were looking to the side and looked froze for a minute.
I mean, he could be, but the screen's not froze.
See the comments. Yeah. Actually, I'm not. It's really warm here. It's nice.
No.
It's gorgeous.
It's just above 0 Celsius here. It's 34.
And it's just below 0 here. -4.
Yeah, it's 31 here.
30 in Indianapolis.
And then when it warms up, it's supposed to rain. So, it's going to be
be close to 30, so it'll be about the same as you are, Margaret.
So it's going to be interesting this year. I think I'm going to focus more on queen rearing. Try to do a little bit more with that. Judging from what my colonies that I went in today look like, the few that I went in about 4, just kind of here and there, not really. I did 1 row and then I kind of just spot picked a couple to go in just to see how they looked. Only one of the colonies had hive beetle larvae in it, in the patty, a smaller one, but that hive beetle larva is just going to fall straight through into the tray, even if they do get out. Hey, there's Jason. Man, he is on the road, nodding down. What's up, man?
What's going on, bee people?
How long do you got to travel yet?
About 4 hours. Be there about midnight.
I could be there before that if I left now.
If I left now, it would be 7 in the morning, probably 8 in the morning.
If I left now, the bars wouldn't even be open yet.
The bars wouldn't even be open yet?
I'd be there before they closed.
Down on the 410.
That's
is anyone here that's on Louisville or no?
Yeah, Phil's going, and so is Tom. And Are you going down there, Morgan, or no?
No, I decided to wait till next year.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be a great show. Everything's pointing that direction. So,
yeah, it's going to be a learning curve again, where everything is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna. So you're not getting the big booth this year? Or are you getting the big booth, Jason?
No, just a 10 by 10. I'm doing the Queen Right dial only. I'm not going to attempt to do the whole 6 pallet load, 30-foot trailer booth like I did last year. That was ridiculous. So,
And then you were right next to John Hill last time.
which was fine because we don't sell the same stuff anyway. So I sell a lot of the Bee Smart stuff, and I had a special on the swarm traps, and so I kept that pretty tight on the different SKUs I had. But I only typically sell stuff that I use anyway. I don't just sell everything.
Right. Are you taking the swarm traps this year or no? Just the Queen Right dial?
Just focus 100% on the Queen Right dial. So yeah, I just needed to kind of pare back a little bit and do that. So I've got a bunch of honey show entries too. I didn't get to do that at all last year, except for like Black Jar, and I did the year before I entered in it. It came in second place on Amber. So I figured I'd do a little bit more on the honey show this year since the booth is not as complex.
Give you more time to see some stuff and it intermingle.
Yeah. Sort of. Brian won't have as much duties on the stream team. They have some scheduled interviews, but they're not. Last time he was there for a very short time and came a little late. He just felt like he was in the stream team for most of the time in his exhaustive state, as he said, right? So this time he's actually scheduled to be there for certain times, and the other times he's really just at the Queen Right Now booth or giving me a break. So
Well, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I really enjoyed it last year. Unfortunately, things just didn't unfold the way I wanted to this year, but you know, life throws you those curves and you just got to roll with them and do what you can.
Yeah, I agree. Again, sorry about your mom, and I know you're going through a bunch there, so you're trying to get all that. I couldn't imagine if I lost my direct parents, you know what I mean, to see how I would go through that and have to, you know, just can't comprehend it yet.
Yeah,
it's tough.
it's challenging, especially since we've been staying here taking care of her as well. So it makes it a little bit different. You know, you walk by the couch and you're used to seeing your mom there, and she's not there anymore. So
Right.
It's challenging. Or you know, she would even walk out when we first got here. She'd walk out in the bee yard. She'd be like, "Oh, look at this! Those things." She wouldn't know what those things were, but you know, look, those things are everywhere.
And the other thing,
Yeah, and there's a bunch of things right there.
Yeah.
So,
I always tell people when they lose a parent or a grandparent, whatever, while I recognize it's difficult to go through and the change that what you're used to, I always just say to them, their legacy lives on through you, right?
Yep.
So what you do in your life as you go forward is their continued legacy. What, you know what I mean? And that's, you know, the honest truth. I mean, they live continuously through you, which is cool. So their spirit or whatever.
well, it's going to be what is NAHBE's official website?
North
I think
America Honeybee Expo, something.
There you go.
So, Jason, any hints for us on what this thing is supposed to be that we won't be able to miss your booth?
It's
What do you mean?
hey Bob, it's www.nahbexpo.com.
All right, yeah, I found it. Thank you.
Yeah, Brian keeps saying that we're not going to be able to miss your booth.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I don't know that piece of the booth is going to be able to work because I have it. Let's just say it's an 11-foot inflatable Jason beekeeper. It's a massive inflatable beekeeper that I got. Well, I actually got by the skin of my teeth. It was a whole fiasco getting it and feeling like I wasn't scammed and this, that, and the other. So I won't get into that story. But at the end of the day, I got it, and it's pretty cool. My kids freaking hate it because I keep blowing it up in front of their bedroom windows, looking in.
Can you imagine
But-
that at a flea market though?
Oh man, that's why I got it. I got it as an attention grabber when I'm, selling honey in flea markets. People were like, a giant beekeeper. He's got a little smoker in his hand, and his hand waves like, "Come here, come here." It's pretty cool. It's a cool little thing. But the problem is
It
it's
ain't
so
a little
big.
thing.
No, it's so big that that the fan is so loud that it would be probably deafening to be in a booth, a setting. So I don't know it's going to work. And I talked to Cayman 2 days ago, and I said to Cayman, I said, I got a conundrum. I said, I didn't want to bother him. I said, but I got this 12 or 10 foot inflatable beekeeper guy that I was going to put in my booth. And I said, but I don't know it's going to work inside. I really don't. And I said, I'm going to bring it. I said, if you want to use it outside in like the lobby or outside the convention center as sort of a promotion for the conference, I said, you're more than welcome to do that. And he goes, that sounds pretty cool. He said, you can put it out there and put a sign on it that says, visit us at booth 116. I said, that's cool. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've got it in the trailer. We'll see what happens.
I want to see you try it inside, the live video of you trying it inside and how loud it is, and then you guys trying to fold it up and get the air out of it to drag it outside to set it back up.
Well, I'm thinking about putting it in the bed of my truck and drive around with it in there. Just this giant beekeeper just waving.
Well, hey, if any of you guys that are so concerned about me using a smoker, Apis Solus is going to be there.
Definitely want to check that out. Definitely do.
So Apis Solus is like the vape, right? The vape smoker that they use in Europe.
Last year where we kept trying to figure out where the smoke was coming from.
Yeah, it's a vaporizer thing. So Sarah says she's an hour away and still can't go.
She's
Who's
closer
that?
than I
That's a
am.
bummer.
Sarah
An hour
from
away?
Sarah's Happy Hives.
Oh, geez, that sucks.
I might be able to just go
Yeah,
kidnap
that
her.
sucks.
I'm 2 hours.
And let me see. Looks like our buddies at Blythewood are still supposed to go there, at least by the NAHBE website.
Yeah, I got the booth map. It's insane. I mean, you remember, so the square footage is definitely larger than last year for the hall, and then the rows are designed. So if you think about last year, I think you think if you count the rows that are on the walls, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Is that about right? You remember that?
Yeah, it went all the way around the outside.
Outside edge and then
All the way around
two
the
back to
outside,
back
but
down the middle.
Yeah, but there were so there were 2 in the middle, and then, so how many rows were there then? Does anybody remember?
Oh, 1,
Well,
2,
6
3,
total then.
4. About 10, I think, right? If you take 4 in the middle, and then the whole outside, so that's 9. And then I think at the end, you had that Man Lake section was like a double section on the front there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a lot.
According to the map that I was provided, based on where we're located, imagine it in I think it's 7 to 8 rows. By 8 is probably the number I think when I looked at it again. Half a row I think is 7.5 rows, but 3 different sections. So a bottom front section, there's a middle section, and then a back section, and then you've got a speaker series kind of in the corner, in the back corner, the way they've got it laid out. There's some speaking rooms outside in the hallway. There's some rooms on the outside. Main stage sort of in there too as well. The honey show's inside the middle center of everything. And we're kind of all scattered around. So Greg's booth is right there when you come in the front door. So he opted to flip opposite. Randy does not want to be at the front door again. And I may go dark because I turn my lights on so I don't drain my battery here. I apologize. But Randy did not want to be by the front door because he couldn't breathe. He couldn't stop last year. Everybody stopped him. So he couldn't go anywhere or do anything. And so I think he's
It's
sort
kind
of
of like a traffic jam right there.
What's that?
And so it's like a traffic jam, and with Mr. Ed
It
being
was.
there with them this year, it's
Yeah.
even gonna be worse.
Yeah, and so this way, I think that draw to bring people back to his booth will bring people all the way through the floor and then past the honey show, past all the stuff. And so Greg's right up front when you come in the front door. Him and Rob Pollock, I think, have a booth together. And then I'm on the first row in the middle, so kind of a little bit in further, but closer to the honey show.
Well, I saw where Brian is doing a 5,000 subscriber, or
Dude, yeah. He's
Yeah.
giving away. I talked
one-
to him. He said that. Yeah, is he giving away 2 of those or 1?
I saw one, but maybe he's doing 2 of the.
He's gonna do 1 at NAHBE and 1 on a stream or something, right?
But
Yeah.
I think he's only doing it on the stream only. He's not doing it NAHBE now.
Oh, okay.
So he's doing the new cordless, battery powered, if you will, vaporizer. The what's he called? The compact model or something now?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
the compact.
model. I like it because I'm like very analytical, and I have the original one, and I second guess the digital thermometer on the back, and so I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, am I ready yet? Am I ready yet? And so I'll waste more time analyzing the freaking programming on the back, just because that's who I am, and
Yeah.
then just saying, stick it in the hive. Is it go? It's blinking. Stops blinking. Okay, you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
The simplistic approach I like better.
Yeah. Plus, it's $50 cheaper too.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not as bulky because the other thing that and I was going to talk to Rob about this, that I do not like about both of the models is it doesn't have a proper kind of take out of the hive and stand to set it somewhere. You're always leaning on the treatment nozzle. And you have to like stand it up upside down or backwards for it to stand up. So that's my take on it. I don't know if you guys ever used it too, but that's my take.
Well, it's looking like it's going to be a great show. I mean, how many vendors? Like 155 or something last time I heard.
Yeah, something like that.
And
Like 3,100 people or 3,100 people or something like that.
it's going to be insane. So,
But I don't know.
you know, they're going to have like the everything BVAC. Usually, I don't remember what they had it last year, but most of these companies do give discounts at the show. So you should be able to. You should be able to save some money on it. But I really wanted to check out like the Kernigan beekeeping setup. I guess Cowan's going to have a full line there.
Yep.
So it's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. I see the Queen White dial, booth 116.
Yep.
Yeah. See, was it Cowan? They're supposed to be having a mobile extraction line where it's all set up in the trailer and everything.
Yeah, I looked at that. And for my fat ass, it would be too narrow, I think. Not my ass, the trailer. it would be too. No, I'm not going to make it into the Bee Expo this year. I guess I will. At this point, I am looking forward to being in Manitoba in February. That's the goal right now. Is getting there, and working my schedule around that. And
my schedule this year is worked around grandkids. Well, I got one that's in boot camp right now. I got another one that's graduating.
So there's going to be a bunch of stuff. I would like to have met Lawrence from Black Mountain Honey. That would have been nice. He's one of the guys I watch all the time.
Same. I want to meet him. He sounds pretty cool.
And tell him I said, hey, when you get to meet him. But it's going to be good. I wanted to meet people from Dance to Bee. I think Mike's going to be there. Mike Gordon and Catherine's going to be over there. At least I know Catherine's going to be there. I don't know if Mike's going to be heading down or not.
I'm eager to see this new Premier product, Premier Hive Body product. I have an inkling of what I think it is, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think if I'm a betting man, just guessing, I think it's a like a rough inside, an unfinished inside to help
Yeah.
promote propolis.
Exactly.
Um,
That's what I was thinking too, Bob.
Trouble
To
is,
go,
they're-
to go,
they're
to go on
coming out
record.
with-
To go on record, eh?
right. That's just speculation. I have no idea what it is, other
trouble
than
is
I've
that
seen a
they're
couple
coming out
of
with the new, yeah, they're coming out with this new product. But trouble is, everybody spent all their money already.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do. That's what people do when they come out with a product like a car, and then you got to have the newest version, right? That's how it
Yeah,
works.
yep.
That's marketing genius, right?
Well, if you think about it, it's a box they only have to finish one side of the lumber on.
Yeah.
It should cost less, right?
I would think that they would purposely, because I scored the inside of my boxes too when I was making them. I'm not making them anymore. The cost of wood to do it is just not conducive to make. Because you saw who was at my house. Bob, you weren't there.
Charlie was there.
Charlie was there. That's right. Charlie saw my setup in my barn. I've got the box joiner and the handle hold. You guys ever seen that video from that guy in Ohio that made that box joiner that for beehives? You ever seen that video from years back?
Yeah.
Anyone ever seen it? Okay, that's the one I bought.
Yeah.
And I used that to make boxes early on. And then in 2020, when the cost of wood went through the roof, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I can go to an Amish guy and have it fully assembled, glued.
Are you cutting out a little bit, Jason?
Only dropping.
Cheaper to buy them. Anyway,
By the
hear all
time,
that?
I mean, not really. You were cutting in and out. I heard cheaper to buy them at the end.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Well,
Sums it all up.
I think the main thing that people don't equate in when they're building boxes is their time.
Yep.
Right. And time is the most valuable asset I have. Wood, I mean, you could buy wood or whatever and make it. And if you don't equate in time, maybe it's a thing. If you're building 10 boxes, it's a lot different than building, 400 boxes or 40 boxes or 100 boxes where you can have guys that are sitting there making them for you. Then that's different. Your time is not invested. Now you got cash that you have to pay these guys, right? So
I think that's another thing that a lot of the people that don't realize when they come to, they don't realize the time you have invested in those 8-ounce or 1-pound bottles of honey. By the time you do all the stuff you do, then you got to extract it, then you got to bottle it.
Melanie said the email came out saying it's a roughed up box on the inside to promote propolis building. There you go. And I should have gotten that email, but I don't know that I did. At least I haven't seen it.
I signed up for the updates too. Or to be notified.
So it looks like we got a pretty good turnout. We got 87 watching right now. So Ian sitting by the fire tonight, probably doing paperwork. Let me see. So, hey, Keith, good to see you. So really right now, out of this conglomeration of people on the screen, I'm the one nearest to spring, at least spring-like activities with my bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get
Brad's
the
the
email from
farthest.
them. Came through on
Yeah,
spam.
so far spring. What's that? I'm still
Yeah,
waiting
I
for
mean, it
winter
doesn't
for,
feel spring-like outside at the moment. However, my bees are consuming pollen patty. So I'm probably I've got enough for one more pollen patty here for the spring. I've got the Man Lake Ultra B Plus patties, and they're doing pretty good. And out of the colonies I checked today, only one of them had hive beetles, and that number is greatly reduced by the number I've smashed today. So,
Attaboy.
so yeah, knocking them down. But I mean, the tablet seems to be doing good. In there, the ones, some of them have it, some of them have devoured it all already. So they're getting ready to get their spring appy tablet and another patty on it. And all of the strong microbials fondant that I put on with the apis in it, gone. I had 3 left out of the box that I had, and they were in the freezer, so they were hard as a ice cube today. So I took them out and put them in a sandwich bag and set them on the counter to thaw out so they can go in as well.
Did you ever get any more info about getting those on your website, Bob?
No, I could have had that done already. I've got all the information, everything to put it on there, but it would have been a pre-order, and then I would have to compile the pre-orders and make an order. And with everything that's gone on, I just haven't dealt with it at all.
Well, I understand
How big are those patties, Bob?
About the size of a Man Lake pollen patty. They're a 1 pound patty.
So are they square like the Hive Alive and thick like the Hive Alive, or no?
No, they're long. They're like a rectangle. They're long and about as thick as a pollen patty.
Would they fit across the hive?
Yep.
Cool.
So.
And what kind of packaging do they come in? Is it just
basically, if you look at a pollen patty package, it's the same thing. You get 4. I got a 40-pound box, so I got 4 stacks of 10 in the box that I got. And I mean, they, believe it or not, when I opened it up, it kind of reminded me of like Wrigley spearmint gum. The smell. That's kind of what it smelled like. So I know it's got some spearmint in it, and sugar. It's got the apis in it. So they devoured it. The bees are looking good.
Do you have to cut a slot or something in it, or you?
No, it's just got the wax paper on both sides.
Oh.
So the bees, surprisingly enough, I don't have paper all over my yard. They've toted it out of there. And
I ordered a case of it, or 40 pounds, so I'll pick that up down at NAHBE.
Yeah, they're gonna sell a ton of that stuff down there.
Yeah,
ton of it. Literally, probably a ton. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting year for sure. So, any of you guys, what you guys next up? Brad's got to wait till like March. A couple months left. 3 months.
Oh, March or April.
March or April, depending on weather.
Or May. The real fun doesn't happen until May, really. That's kind of crazy.
It was probably March whenever things start happening. Start bringing in pollen and stuff like that.
I've got a few buds on my red maples, but they obviously are not going to pop yet. But in the next month or so, they will pop open, and then it'll be on. If this weather stays kind of mild, it will pop early. I kind of hope that it doesn't right away. Just because last year they popped kind of early and then it got cold again and kind of ruined the spring a little bit. So
yeah, that seems to be.
Over the next few weeks, we get at least 3 or 4 days where it doesn't get above freezing, so we don't have Bob's hive beetle issue.
Oh yeah, it's here. It's I mean, it's cold right now for here. You know, it's like 30 something. Let's see, 33 degrees right now.
Well, that's the same as me.
Ian.
No, 32.
What do you say?
Hope we aren't that late again.
Or May, LOL.
Well, you know, April is we're usually got the bees out in April, but it's May before we get to actually play with them much. You know, can't really pull a lot of frames or anything. Or can't
See
do
what's
splits.
going on.
Can't, you know,
Our
fun
names are
stuff.
not on the screen tonight. Let's see. Enter. Nope.
I'm froze up.
No, you're not.
You're good.
Well, I'm not on my end. I'm not moving.
Oh,
Let's
we see
see.
you ducking and weaving.
I'm hearing a little bit of background there from somebody. Let's see. All right, there you go. Good display names. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. Turn up your mic brand. Let's see.
My mic. Is my mic okay?
Yeah, it sounds good to
Yeah,
me.
you sound good.
Somebody's got feedback.
I think that's
off their
Mark
system.
because I didn't notice until Mark came in.
Mute him for a second and maybe we can figure it out.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't hear it now. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, it's gone. Oh,
Now you hear it a little bit.
yeah, it's there still.
You're real low, man. Your mic is real low.
I have no.
So Mark's in Virginia.
Like I said, my computer, what I'm seeing is froze up. I can hear y'all.
Shit.
So Mark has, how many colonies you got in Virginia, Mark?
I counted today. I've got between 150 and 100.
Oh. And now we
Yeah,
got one
hey,
less
Mark.
beekeeper.
50 or something.
He hit the wrong button. So he's
He's got a good size apiary, 150 plus.
yeah, and then he's got bees down in Florida as well. So
Oh, I see.
so he's got a split system working there. Down in Fort Pierce, I think, is where his other bees are, which is it's on the southern side, but it's north of like West Palm Beach in that area. So hold on one second. You guys.
All right, try it again.
Bob is needed in the other room.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The moderator had to step out.
Yeah, so the mice will play now.
Oh,
That didn't take long.
Oh,
He's back
all
already.
Okay, everybody be quiet. Bob's back.
Shh, stop talking about me.
Hey,
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
stopped
had
this
to
time.
remind everybody I was live to keep it down in there. So you got 100 between 150 and 160 up in Virginia, and then how many you got down in Florida? Your mic's not going through, bro.
it's hurting my ears.
No, you're very low on the mic, but we hear some feedback or something coming through. I don't know what's going on.
that one of your relatives there in the chat there, Bob, Judy?
Sister, my older sister.
Not me, because I've been on mute.
No, your mic's real low, Mark. We hear everything else but your voice.
That in setting.
Yeah, should be in the settings.
That's where I went last time. I kicked myself off.
Not happy.
Footy tat.
Let me try.
He's just not happy unless he gets attention.
Oh, I got one just like that.
He can't see me now.
Mine keeps bugging me, too.
Mine's locked out right now. That's why she was yelling, because the cat was bugging her out there.
Yeah, mine's sitting on the couch with the wife.
Must be something with beekeepers and cats.
My cat
Oh,
showed up
mine,
at
as
the
soon as I get on
house
the phone, he's got to
and
be
never
never
left.
Every beekeeper needs a mouse guard.
How's that?
Might be as good as it's going to get.
It was on automatic, and I went. Let me turn it all the way up. See. Yeah, that's all the
Can't
way
see
up.
me.
I mean, we can hear you. There's nothing going on really.
Hey, Bob, is Charlie driving out too?
Yeah, Charlie's should be on his way already.
Yeah, he was staying in Dayton, Ohio, I think, overnight.
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder, are you guys going to catch any snow up there coming down? I know it was snowing in North Carolina a little bit.
They were saying maybe snow Saturday on the way back, or Saturday there should be some snow probably in the area there.
Yeah, but it'll be too warm in Louisville. It'll be 39, 40 degrees. It'll just be wet snow. I think up here in Cincinnati, we're only supposed to get an inch, less than an inch. So I don't think
Does
it's gonna be
everyone hear that feedback?
Yeah, that's Mark.
It's like every
Yeah,
time they
it's in my
talk,
ears.
it booms.
I don't-
Yeah.
They must have their mic. They must have their speakers on or something. External speakers or something.
He's got Bluetooth earbuds in, and it's somehow feeding through. I don't know.
We take the earbuds out.
No, we
hear
still hear it.
I just heard it when you talk, Bob.
Must be that radio announcement. But
Do you hear me any better now?
you're quiet, but when we talk, you can hear us playing in the background, kind of.
It's like you have an external mic or a separate mic on a computer or something. Both two mics are picking up the speaker while even when you're not talking.
Okay.
Can't hear you at all now.
I still
And
hear
you like when you when you hear us talk, Bob. When you talk, I can hear it in his like reverberation.
testing. What about on my end?
No, you're fine, Morgan.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's just when the big voice hits.
When the big voice talks.
There we
When
go.
the big voice
Boom,
talks.
boom, boom.
Mark's
Boom, boom, boom.
muted.
He's
now.
muted now, so
Oh.
that's why we can't
Yeah,
hear
it's
it.
fine now.
Yeah, as soon as he muted it, we can't hear the booming.
Yeah.
No offense, but
Yeah, it's just kind of it's
Oh,
makes it
certainly
hard to hear.
nothing personal.
So, New Year's Eve, I took my honey to the bar. I sold the last 3 things of creamed honey I had. And the one lady, she was sitting at the bar eating it straight out of the jar.
Oh goodness.
And then she's like, "Oh, this is so good," and you sold the rest of it because she's given the play-by-play there.
Sold another one so she could take it home.
Yeah, she did buy 2.
Oh, I guess I need to say congratulations to Michigan and to Washington for making it to the college championship game.
Yeah.
I know the Ohio State people don't appreciate that, or the Alabama fans, but hey, you lost fair and square.
yeah, it was definitely a low tide. There was no rolling going on.
There was
Hey,
no
whatever
rolling
works.
going on yesterday for sure.
Yeah, they rolled on out of there.
That was a good game, though. It went back and forth, so. But find Morgan's marketing plan: find drunk customers. Hey, you find what works for you and you do it.
That's right.
That's good.
I'm still
The,
looking for my
it's not a bad
critter in
plan.
my building there. Yeah, he's not showing up.
Oh, your pet, your creature out there is not showing
Whatever
up.
it is. Yeah, it just hasn't shown up again.
You scared him away.
Maybe he figured he didn't like
Yeah.
honey and he left.
Maybe he realized there was nothing in there for him or something. He very, very daintily picked those feed plugs out, turned them upside down on the cover.
Maybe he messed around and got stung.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
When I got my puppy, I have a Labrador, not Labrador, excuse me, a Chesapeake Aussie mix when she was a puppy, and she'd come to the bee yard. She hopped up and put her paws on the side of a hive, like as it was open, like peeking in, like wondering what was going on. That was the last time she did that.
She found out what was
Papa's
happening.
interested in something in there, so I want to see what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go, Morgan. Start getting the bourbon honey in that. Take it to him.
There you go.
It's got the eggnog.
I found another bottle so I can finish this one off.
That eggnog gives me heartburn so bad, I can't do it.
Oh wow, not
The
number.
nutmeg in there, I think.
Love eggnog.
Let's see. Mark signed back on. Yeah, so this year I think it's going to be I'm going to try to do more queens and try to get that down to sell some of those this year. Last year I didn't really sell queens because I was more focused on just expanding with the queens that I make. So just trying to rearrange and get things going in the right direction this year, and make some queens, make some honey, and hopefully make some money with that. So that's the goal, to make it pay for itself, and we'll see how it goes.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on a second. Bob, you get paid for doing this? What?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of like Brad. I run a not-for-profit.
That's what I'm going to read it.
My business is definitely a for-profit business. It just happens to be a non-profit business.
That's right.
Yeah.
The intention is there. As the result isn't.
So yeah, that's what we're going to try to do. I've been pretty, up until this past year, it was kind of profitable. I mean, when I say profitable, I was able to reinvest what I made back into the business. I didn't really draw a profit. I was just able to grow using the profits. And this year it hasn't been as much, but that's because of the direction at least in my mind, I'm telling myself the reason that was because I redirected those profits back into growing my apiary. And so not as much expendable resources. Plus, trying to grow the online store and all that stuff, that costs money, right? So
Yep.
Nothing's free for sure in beekeeping, even running a store. Well, I mean, I'm finding the more that I try to get products, they want you to order pallets of stuff, right? When you become a distributor, oh, well, you need to order a pallet so you can get it shipped down from Wisconsin or South Dakota or wherever they happen to be at, and then you're getting a small margin, and with the margin, by the time you pay the shipping down to you, well, now that margin's even less, and then you turn around and resell it, and you're making.
This sounds like a Carousel order, Bob.
Oh yeah, you're making pennies, and then it's like, well, is it even worth having? But if you don't have the items, then people don't come to your store, or they don't buy some. So it's just a whole thing. You have money tied up on your shelf, and that's not good for me. It's not good for my situation, here for sure. Let's see if Mark's got this fixed. Are you fixed?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Hey,
that's
there you
1,000
Oh.
times
Oh,
right
that's
there.
There we go.
Borrowed the wife's laptop.
Oh yeah, works.
Good one.
Yeah, what's on my phone? That's not working.
All right, so we're in the middle. You got 150 to 160 hives in Virginia, and how many do you have down in Florida? Last count.
Probably 130 to 150.
Wow.
So yeah, you're close to 300 there.
We're at
Yeah.
Virginia.
If they make it through, I'm in South Central Virginia.
I lived in Virginia Beach for 4 years.
Yeah, I'm a couple hours from the beach.
And then you've got, so your business model is a little bit of everything, really, but primarily nuke production.
Yeah, I've been doing bees almost 10 years now and just mostly selling bees, but I like to try to get into a little more honey production.
Well, you've got the so you, just in our talks, you started doing like shaking packages, right? You were doing
Yeah,
packages.
I did packages for a couple of years here in Virginia, and I would buy a lot of bees for that and queens. And by the time I bought bees and bought queens, and then it worked me to death, I was just spinning my wheels, felt like. But I did like 900,000 packages a year, and that was all in April and May. So that was a lot of work in 2 months.
How many packages did you say?
About 900 to 1,000. And we built the packages too and filled the cans, and it's just too much.
To make $100.
Jeez.
Probably not even that.
Well, I mean, to sell it for $100, right? You didn't make $100. That's kind of what you sold it for.
You know what? I was selling them for $85 because I was trying to, instead of going down to Georgia and buying them and then bringing them back up here for 130, 40, I couldn't move that many. But if I sold them for the same price you could get them in Georgia, and I was making them, then I could, move some volume.
But the difference was they were making their own queens and everything down there at that time, right?
Well, I would buy them from different places, and
You still sell them? Are you gonna still sell you're gonna still sell packages or no?
No, we've been doing what we call them, Bob, Package Plus.
Package Plus. It's three
frame nukes.
plus 3 frames. 3 frame nuke, basically.
Here we go.
Jason wants 1,000 of them next year.
All right, Nancy.
That's pretty much it. Only they're coming from south of you, so you could get them earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What for what price?
Well, that's an off the line discussion, sir.
Yeah, let's do that here.
It depends. I got a special deal.
Well, we'll talk offline.
Yeah, we'll work you out a deal.
I'm only, where you said Central Virginia. You're at.
I tell people that I'm 30 minutes west of Emporia. Most people know where Emporia, Virginia is.
Yeah. So it's not quite west, not quite central, but not east.
Well, if you know where 85 and 95 is, I'm right in the middle of that, next to the Carolina line.
Okay. Because I'm on the eastern shore of Maryland. I don't know, a couple hours north of you.
Yeah,
but Georgia's a hell of a lot longer away than you.
Oh yeah. And we got those bees down in Florida for the intention of trying to have bees early rather than having nukes in May,
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. And then once we get to April, we can crank everything up here pretty much. And so I'm going to try to, like Bob, focus on producing a lot of queens this year and just building my bees up. I mean, at 300 colonies, it just seems like you have nowhere near enough bees.
It's amazing how that works, right?
When you're trying to sell bees, you just cannot have enough bees.
Right.
Question mark.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell nukes. I don't have enough nukes.
Yeah.
So I've always heard you want to try to get bees from the area that their weather is similar. So how does it? Is that true, or is it through the bees coming up from Florida and then coming over here to there, or like here in Indianapolis? Would they be at a disadvantage, or they just adjust?
first thing, let me say something before Mark says something. Is most of the bees that you're buying everywhere are from down here anyway. They just may not tell you that, but
I haven't
a
bought
lot of them
bees.
are coming from down here. Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But most of them, if you're
And
getting them
most of the
early in your
bees we're
season,
buying are only living a few weeks.
are
It's
coming
not,
from
it's
down.
not the bees, it's just the queen.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's not the bees, it's the queen. If you have
Yeah.
a northern bred queen who knows when to typically, and they don't know, and I say no using air quotes here, they're genetically inclined to have a different shutdown period or a slower slowdown period or a faster, rebrood period, then that's what makes the difference. Regardless of where the bees come from, the bees are living 45 days and then, so it's really what brood she lays, and based on the region you're at. So you can reestablish the genetics of that hive for the region based on the queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause-
What I can tell you from my experience, and I try to tell people because, like Bob said, if you want bees early, like in our area, people want them in March or April. They want them ahead of the spring flow. If you get bees then, they're coming from the south. And that's the only way to get them, unless somebody is selling overwintered nukes local, and those are priced higher usually. But if you want bees early and you get a package or a nuke or whatever from down south, when queens start coming available in your area, buy a queen or make a queen and then change that queen out, and then you'll have the genetics of your area. Or like a lot of people are doing now, buy virgins and get them mated in your area,
Yep.
and then they're more adapted to what bees do there. Because like I told Bob today, as I make queens here, those bees, they build better, they're stronger, and they overwinter better than stuff that I buy in, far as queens go. So what I'm trying to do is keep stock in Florida to have early bees, and then keep stock here and not be taking it back and forth to Florida, so that I can evolve what I'm doing here, and those bees are adapted here. They're just hardier here. There's a lot of problems in Florida. They always have to treat bees down there for something, you know, um, one thing or another, it seems.
Well, I was looking at Man Lake site
I'm
today.
talking to people down there.
They're
They're telling
selling
me,
overwintered nukes in PA and Wilkes-Barre for $215. If you get a spring queen, it's $190.
That's going right.
So
See, I started by catching a wild.
I started
here.
doing 3-frame nukes because people, to me, buy packages, which packages are easy to ship, but to me, people were buying packages for the price. So I was doing 3-frame nukes for the price of a package. That's why I started doing 3-frame nukes, which we still do 5 frames, and we sell, full-size colonies and all that. But, trying to do volume, we're trying to push that 3-frame nuke to compete with packages, but not have to do packages.
and it has a definite advantage because the queen's already been in this 3 frames. She's already laid them up. When you brought those last year that I got from you, they were slam full of brood, and all I did was take them from the 3 frame, put them in a 5-frame box. I put 2 foundations and slapped some feed on them, and they didn't need feed. They had feed in the box, but I put feed so they would draw the other comb out quicker, right? So then I could resell them as a nuke, and that worked pretty well for me this past year. And if I didn't sell it because I didn't do any pre-orders, then it just went to expand in my apiary. So it worked.
If you get a good box and it has the amount of brood in it that it's supposed to have, in 2 weeks it's a 5-frame box.
Yep.
Right.
And that's exactly what I experienced this year. Matter of fact, I thought I was going to have to keep on to them a little bit longer than I did. And then I was calling people, hey, you wanted nukes? I got them. Come get them this weekend. You know, it was one of those things there. And I ended up, I think I sold 20 this past year, 20 nukes. So, which is the most I've ever sold. So it's kind of just been a slow ramp up and making it happen.
Well, Mark, I'm trying to do something similar to you, but differently. I'm in the process of building a whole bunch of 5-frame nukes and double screen boards. And I'm doing it right now all with 10 frames. I got 30 10 frames where I got double screen boards on them right now, and I got double singles overwintering with the spring queen in the bottom and my after summer solstice queen on the top. And I'll sell out in March my lower queen, and then make that hive back into a full double deep hive with the summer solstice queen. And then in April, I'll take a nuke out of that and get basically 2 nukes out of each hive. Well, I'm planning on just doing the same thing with a bunch of 5-frame nukes, overwintering double screen boards. The same process. And build a couple hundred of them.
That's what Morgan was looking for. So if somebody like you that's overwintered something will have it early, you know, locally.
Right.
And then when you sell that, you're ready to put a sale in, make another one.
Right. Or make another one or combine it and put it into honey production.
Yeah.
Depending on demand.
I'm trying to I want to sell hundreds of them. So I'm just trying to make those nukes, and then I want to grow those nukes so those nukes will make nukes. You know, you keep the bottom strong and just take what's built on top of it. Put queen cells in it and they just keep coming.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my nukes I would do that. On the 10 frames, I just take 2 nukes out of them within a month's time and then make honey production out of them.
What I'm learning with working with some people I have in Florida, they build nukes from their 10 frame hives, but it's a double. The bottom box, they never touch it. It stays strong. You never pull anything from the bottom, and you only pull from what they're building in the second box. That way you always have a strong hive there. And in whatever they build extra, that's all you can take. You don't go down in the bottom and knock that hive down where they have to build back. So they just stay strong. You just taking from the excess that's built in the top.
Well, I just take the queen from the bottom, recombine them, and that summer solstice queen will have brood back in that top box in a couple weeks. And I'll just take another nuke out of that.
Yeah.
And then put
I've done the same thing. I want people, they go on YouTube and they're telling people how to make splits, and they're taking their 10 frame box and splitting it into 2 or 3 colonies.
Then they have nothing left.
And that's the way I was taught, but that's not the right way to do it, what I'm learning.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm only taking really 1 full nuke out of it, and that's keeping them from swarming anyway. They're still going to have their 6 frames of brood down the bottom box.
Yeah, in that early spring, they're going to swarm on you if you don't knock them back.
Right. So I get to sell my first ones in March, and then my second ones in late May.
Yeah, there you go.
April. Not May, late April. And still have a double box, deep box for making honey.
Yeah, and then you got new queens. You don't really have to worry about them swarming so much.
Exactly. And I reached out in July. I just repeat the same process. I split them both into doubles, and I have my queen from springtime, and then put a new queen in at the top. I did it this year on about 30 hives. It seemed to work pretty good.
Right.
And so far, over winter, we don't have that harsh of a winter anymore like we used to.
Yeah. I remember when I was young, it got cold and the ground froze hard. It don't do that anymore.
Shoot back and said we had a blizzard. We went minus 25 below Fahrenheit, and it stayed that way for a whole month.
Right.
And we had 8 feet of snow. I don't forget how many feet of snow we got in one storm.
We didn't get any snow last year.
And last year we got down to 18 one morning. That was it. I think that was in November.
Mm.
So you're probably just thinking a longitude line. You're probably just a little north. I'm down in Cincinnati area.
Right.
So just
You're
west.
a little south of me.
Yeah.
Clay said he bought some apis and some swarm rustler from you this last spring, Virginia conference.
Yep.
That's the so you said you had a bee meeting coming up there too, right? When, next weekend in Virginia?
On the 13th. On the 13th, we have a club up in Farmville, Virginia. They had their first annual conference last January, and I think they had 300 or 400 people turn out for just a club conference.
That's pretty good.
So it was they did really good, and I think it's because of the time of the year that they're doing it. You know, everybody's kind of not doing a lot in the bee yard, so they got time to go. But they had a good conference there and good crowd.
Let me see.
So, Mark, do you have a shop there in Virginia?
I don't.
No. Okay. I got to come through there when my granddaughter graduates in Virginia Beach this year. So.
Mm-hmm. A shop, as in what? Store?
Well, I just thought if if you had someplace like you said, I try to support us, the local, the smaller guys. So being like I get stuff off of Bob, and if you had something there, maybe when I was coming through, I could stop and get something.
He buys it from me.
Oh.
All right, yeah. Not apis anymore, but the swarm lure.
Yeah.
Full circle. Comes full circle.
That's it.
Right. I just thought if we could, like I said, like everything else, like try to support veteran-owned places or guys like us that are just, it's, the big guys don't need our support. We need our support.
Big guys.
Yeah. If you want some bees now, I got those, but most anything else I'm selling, Bob's selling the same thing. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, where I'm at. Yeah, I just got a small yard. I got 4 hives, and until I get a bigger place, I'll make, if everything gets through, I'll make 4 splits, sell those, but I'm sticking with 4 hives where I'm at.
Right. That's hard to do. Because the bees do 2 things, make honey and multiply.
Right. Well, last year, I went to 4 hives last year. I started with 1 hive, and it was one I caught. The following spring, I split it, and it decided to swarm anyway. So I caught the swarm. That made 3. The one that the original hive I thought was a goner because I thought there wasn't enough bees left in it, but it fooled me and came back. And then I did splits and some stuff to try to.
I keep losing you guys. I don't know if I'm freezing up or what.
Yeah, you're freezing up once in a while.
And then I made 3 splits. I kept 1 for my 4th hive and sold the 2 splits. So that's where I'm at right now.
So if people are wanting to contact you, Mark, what's the best way to contact you for bees or?
I have all my information on my Facebook page, Sourwood Branch Bee Farm. I think I'm going to change that to Sourwood Creek Bee Farm because nobody catches that branch. Where I grew up, you had a spring, then you had a branch, and then you had a creek. And on my farm, I have a little branch that has some large sourwood trees on it. So that's where I got the name, but I think people confuse branch with tree. And so they think it's a tree branch. But I think Sourwood Creek would go better. People could remember
Is
that.
it just one sourwood
Yeah.
tree?
No,
That one magical sourwood tree
yeah,
with a unicorn standing under it.
I didn't learn till probably this year when Bob Benny started talking about it that you don't make any nectar from sourwood trees unless you go to the right elevation. So we don't have that elevation here. So,
Yeah, he did mention that.
yep.
I just liked your page, Mark.
Well, I appreciate it. I got a YouTube too, same name.
That's what Highland Honey said. Same here, Mark. Spring, Branch, and Creek.
Right.
Right.
That branch starts at a spring on the corner of my property, and then it grows, and then it goes down and flows into a creek.
What's after
Yeah,
creek?
I have the same deal. I got a spring that flows into a creek,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have any
What's
branches.
What's after a creek?
A river.
A stream.
Flowing water.
Ditch.
There you go.
Go from the
Just
It
like
creek to
depends
the
on where
river.
you're at. Back, some people call it a creek.
A creek.
Right.
Creek. Yeah.
I live in Merlin, and it's a creek.
Right?
I'm up a creek.
All your water out there goes to the ocean, doesn't it, Jason?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's it. I live on the Bohemia River, right? But that river is always, it's tidal. So sometimes it's a creek, sometimes it's a river. Depends on the time of day. Depends on the time of day. And other times it's a
sometimes
mud
it's a
flat.
Right.
So, Jason, how is the observation hive doing at the brewery there? You heard?
Good question. I was just there and I did a video on treating. I haven't published it yet. About a week or two, 3 ago, I guess it was. And the second queen, as I suspected, I don't know if you knew the whole backstory on that. They wanted to do, when they asked me about getting 2 colonies, I was a little suspect of what they were doing, thinking they were going to do two hives, 2 observation hives. Turns out they wanted to have 1 large observation hive with a queen excluder and do a 2 queen setup. And while that can work in some cases where the weather doesn't change, when you get to an environment like Baltimore where the weather gets cold, they're gonna cluster up when the ambient outside temperature gets below a certain temperature. So they left the other queen behind likely, and all merged into the top half of the observation hive. So they're still good. They're living. There's a good queen and there's brood, small amount of brood, and they're doing their cluster thing and this, that, and the other. We treated for bites the other day, a couple weeks back, and we're gonna go back again probably here in another week or 2. Treat them again, hit them again, but
Okay.
yeah, they're doing good. I mean, I kind of knew that second queen, the double queen setup, probably wasn't going to be successful, but I think they just wanted to test it. So
I'm wondering what's going to happen in the spring when people are out there at the picnic tables and drinking their cold beer and there's bees flying all around them.
Well, I mean, I think if you had like multiple hives, like if you had 4, 5, 6 hives in the vicinity, then I think you'd have a problem. But only having 1 decent sized colony, they're going to forage further out.
Right.
And they have the setup where the exit, I don't know if you saw the setup in the video, the ladder thing or the thing that they have for their exit is actually exits out the top of the building. So it gets them above the heads of, and so when they come out of the exit and through the tube, they'll orient up in the sky above the building and fly to find forage. So the hope is that they won't necessarily, now if they swarm or have some other issues like that, they have to keep on top of that because that would be kind of an interesting
And keep the trash empty, right?
Say again?
And keep the trash emptied outside.
That's right. Yeah, keep the trash emptied out so they're not drinking up the meat and the cups and all the other bad things that be in those. That could be interesting too. But I'll tell you, the more exciting thing about that whole project is, well, 2 things. One, the guys that are putting it together, Steve and James, has, through their travels of getting these old bee smokers to put on display. Came across an estate sale that had Amos's or AI Roots equipment from his one of his personal apiaries, and they got a ton of stuff from AI Root, and like old, I'm talking really old late 20s type equipment that was used in his apiaries. And
Nice.
when I was there last, they of course now were showing off all the old smokers or you have on display, this, that, and the other, and said, "Hey, do you want some of this equipment?" And I was like, "Yes, please." So I got my hands on like a whole bunch of artifacts that from AI Root, which is really cool to have in like your own personal, my own collection at home. Bee things that you'll probably never see. Old queen cages, introduction cages. It's awesome stuff. So there's that, and then the flip side of that, the second benefit was I met this gentleman by the name of Brian who runs the World Honey Exchange, and he travels all over the world. And I think Rob put a video, the Robbies, when he was there with me, he did a video interviewing Brian from World Honey Exchange, and he does tastings. He collects up honey from all over the place, and he did a little quick, rundown of the samples he had there that day that we all did a honey tasting. You guys, I'll tell you, I've tasted lots of people's honeys across the U.S., but some of these honeys that he let us try were unbelievable from like all over the world, like stuff that tasted like cotton candy, like Fig Newtons, like just straight out of the jar. And it was like the most amazing experience to be able to taste that kind of stuff that you'll never taste. It was cool. It was cool.
I'll have to see if I can find that video.
Yeah, check Rob's channel. He's got it on there. He did an interview with Brian, and just listen to him talk about the floral notes and the honey, and this one's from this place, and this one's from that place. It's just it's fascinating to listen to him talk.
It's all the guys on the beach chat.
Morgan was talking to his wife.
Oh.
Who's that?
He does the same thing as me. Just I'm talking, boy.
The light I got here, she's asking me how I can stand the light that I got here so that I can actually be seen.
Shining you in the face. I got you. But yeah, I think majority of the people are in travels, and who's not traveling tonight is traveling tomorrow. Surprised Tom's still hanging out. Usually he's dipping out about this time.
I'll be traveling tomorrow wherever they tell me to travel for work.
10 o'clock. I'm working from home tomorrow though, so I can get out of here at 3:30.
You're leaving at 3:30 in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Well, Mark went last year. I went last year. Phil was there last year. Tom was there last year. Jason was there last year. So
yeah.
And now Mark and I are the only two from last year that aren't going this year, I think, on the stream. So,
yep. I actually have three cousins that live down Louisville, so I know the town pretty good.
We used to go party in Louisville, but then they closed where we used to go. So
you didn't go often enough, or they would still be open.
Maybe so. It had 5 bars in the same big building. It was awesome. You just walk from one to the other.
Well, you didn't sell your honey there. That's the problem.
They didn't have honey then.
They used to have a place like that down in Orlando called Church Street Station. That it was an old mall. And inside the mall, every one of the stores was a club, a different type of little pub that you could go to. So, and they closed that down after a while. I guess when they moved the Navy out, they moved all the alcoholics with it, and and then they had to close it down.
Empty. It's defective.
Place says he's leaving at 8 in the morning. Yeah. Blaine says, I always kick myself when a place I love but haven't been to in over a year closes. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you don't support the businesses you like, they're going to go out of business. Unfortunately, that's the nature of it. That's
And sometimes when you do, they still do.
yeah. I mean, prime example. Last year, I tried to get Swarm Commander and Blythewood Bee Company to go to Hive Life. Couldn't make it happen. And then this year, after I was kind of successful getting mine off the ground, now they're going this year. So they'll probably be a staple there every year, right? After that. So, so
we just got to ask a bunch of vendors where the swarm rustlers at.
They need more money to sue me some more, I guess. Try to sue me some more.
Whatever came, I haven't heard anything new on that.
There isn't anything new after I put him in. I body checked him up against the glass, and he was done for right now. Anyway, we'll see what happens. And so nothing's really happened after that.
I'll be taking it to the conference in a couple weeks.
Good. Need to get rid of it. Sell it so you can buy some more.
Yeah.
So I guess Silver Gorilla has been on Bob Binney's chat. I haven't seen him over here in a while, so
No, I haven't either.
there may not be too many live streams this week from everybody being down at NAHBE. So
Well, Charlie's not having
You have to
his.
shoulder the load, Bob.
well, I think, and I don't know if it's set in stone yet, but Brad was talking about possibly doing one Friday night or Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This will be my last one this week,
Sure.
unless I do a live one down at the show.
Give
with
the
Lily.
non-convention guys something to do.
Yeah, the real no life beekeepers.
For the stuck at home beekeepers.
The stuck at home beekeepers. That's it.
So no life to the no NAHBE beekeepers.
I consider going, but the deciding factor is I can't even drive at this point, so stuck at home.
Well, we are actually. I'm actually closer to the Hive Life conference, so
Yeah.
So I should do roll down there. Come on, Mark, let's roll down there
Yeah.
this weekend.
Pick me up when you come up.
I'm going the other direction. Let me see.
I was hoping it was going to be back there because I went and checked everything out there. You kind of got figured out what you're going to do the next year, and everything changed up.
Yeah. It threw a curve this year. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We just got to make it happen next year.
Yep. Got to start planning now.
Yeah, Lee said he wasn't taking all his stuff up there because they had some kind of crazy. You had to pay $170 to have electricity in your booth up there at the convention.
For one plug.
For one plug.
Wow.
So from
That's
what
a
I
high
gather,
electric bill.
what are they going to do when all the vendors run out of juice and they're like portable card swipers and stuff?
You have one plug with
everybody chip in and get one plug and run an extension cord like Christmas lights off of it. It'll look like National Lampoon's Christmas, a big bulb of plug-ins.
Exactly. Clark Griswold at the end going to plug everybody in.
Blow the circuits to everything. That'd be funny.
Yeah. Maybe I should bring a few of my routers to the show and put a bunch of Wi-Fi's up and charge everybody.
Hey, that's a whole market there. Then Blaine says, then you can sell it to the booths for $50, right? You buy a one and then you just run an extension cord. You want one of our links? $50 right here to link up.
Sure.
There you go.
Reselling electricity.
Just get one of those.
Well, that's what the electric company does.
Battery. They call them a generator, but it's a big battery system, right? Just go get one of those suckers, set it there, and then sell to about 4 other people. You pay for your.
Could have
It's
cell
your
phone
battery.
charging stations, charge them by the minute.
Sure. Well, they had one of those not Hive Life, one of those things. Put your phone in one of the little slots and charge it up by the minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Should bring could bring ATM machines to plug in so people can draw cash out of their bank. The
Opportunity.
that's it. Maximize profits.
Maximize opportunity.
Yeah, what are you here for? Oh, I don't know nothing about bees. I'm just selling electricity.
It sounds like
Yeah.
Yeah.
go in there and rent you a electric company suit. Go in there, plug it in.
Back to the cream honey. I've been using the KitchenAid like machine. It's not KitchenAid, but it's a generic one. And I was using the whisk attachment, and the guys were last over say to try using the bread dough instead.
That bread dough hook doesn't work good for me. I use the other one.
Use the whisk.
No, I don't use the whisk. I use the I don't know what it's
The
called.
paddle.
Yeah, like the paddle one. But mine doesn't get as white as yours is.
Well, my honey's pretty light to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the honey color.
Because like I said,
Yeah, Morgan's probably got the same tree. We got all these black locust trees.
yeah, we had a bunch this last couple of years. We had a lot of black locust.
Yeah, and that's a light, thin honey.
His is like clear.
Yeah.
Almost.
On the category, mine's honey is this year as light as it gets.
Yeah, my first honey was really light. The second honey was a little bit darker. It had a slight minty flavor to it.
Okay, that might be from the tulip poplar trees. Is a dark honey. Some years you get it, some years you don't. There's tulips, big tulip flowers grow up, and as soon as that nectar comes out of it, rains, it just fills that whole tulip looking flower up with water, and the nectar is not very good. So most of the time, the tulip poplar tree is just good for pollen. It's huge for pollen.
Well, I was looking, and they said that probably got the two things are basswood will give you a little minty flavor, and I guess my guy that's my mentor was talking to one of our DNR guys, and there's some kind of wild mint that grows around in Indiana, and that might be feeding on it too.
Yeah, it's not a true mint, but it looks like it. I forget what it's called.
But I mean, it was a real, very, very faint mint hint into it. It was good because I don't like mint too much because most people overpower it. But that was real slight.
And if you got basswood trees, you got a golden pot of trees.
I don't know if we do or not. I just know that I was reading and they said that flavor can come from basswood.
Well, supposedly one Canadian basswood tree can make like 1,200 pounds of honey. I mean, that's what I've heard anyway. I don't know.
It's just
sure. I know a guy that.
Well, I read that two basswood trees is the same as a 1 acre of flowers. So there's probably within my range. There's probably 5 or 6 basswood trees. One real big one. I planted a few basswood trees, but they're not big enough yet, and I might not see it big enough.
You'd have to mix it still. As far as I know, you'd have to still mix it, put it back in your blender, or not your blender, but your mixer, and stir it in, and then put it back, and it should.
Yeah, because what it's got left will be like a starter with any of the personalization left in it.
That's what basically what Brian does in his creamer. He gets down low and then he adds more honey and starts mixing again.
Starts it over again, right?
Yep.
Right.
for sure.
I got my first batch I guess made my starter with a hand mixer and mixed that up and put it in jars, and then I got this, and then I got to put 6 pounds of honey and then one 12-ounce jar of starter.
Did you make that first your starter, Morgan, from some crystallized honey, or and just whipped it,
Yes.
or what?
Yeah, it was honey I had that was starting. It was pretty thick, crystallized. You could spread it, but it had the heavy crystals, and I just put it in, and then took a hand mixer and just did it several times until it got the consistency that what I've been reading about. That was it.
We tried that. We just whipped it with in the mixer, just whipped it until it smoothed out. But I hear most people are doing like with a mortar and pestle to smash the crystals.
Hmm. Yeah, I did it. I
But
used a hand mixer.
yeah, we did that. I mean, it turned out. I thought it was okay. We had to put
I
it
mean,
in
it
the
wasn't.
refrigerator to get it to set.
Yeah, I put mine out in the garage. It was a little cooler. I just put it out in the garage.
Yeah. Yeah, Morgan,
Ideally,
he's got the
15.
he's got the same trees I got. Our honey doesn't crystallize. It takes a year. If you're just sitting out in 60-degree weather, my basement's 55 and it won't crystallize for a whole year. Basement 60 degrees. People go, how do you store it down there? Won't it crystallize? No. Maybe next year.
I was watching uh video that I can't think of his name, but he was doing a video for Man Lake talking about calm honey. And I think he was saying that if you get more pollen pieces in your honey, any debris like that will cause it to crystallize, I think.
Which
And he was saying put to keep his comb honey from crystallizing, he would put not a pollen trap screen, but a number 6 wire screen between the brood box and the comb honey. And then when the bees went through that screen, it's like a pollen trap. They lose the pollen. So they're not taking any pollen up into the comb honey.
Okay.
He had a lot of good tips on there.
Huh. Yeah, I've read that too about pollen being in it, causing it, helping it crystallize. I run 400 micron when I filter, strain the honey out of the extractor. I don't know if that gets any of it or not.
Yeah, but you can't do that if you're selling comb honey. You have no
Yeah,
way to.
that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was
Let's
trying
send
to
it
keep it
home.
out of his comb honey.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna get off here and get ready for bed. 4 o'clock will come early, so
All right, Morgan.
y'all take care.
Night.
If I haven't
Night,
said
Morgan.
before, y'all have a
good
good
one.
New Year's. Take care. Night.
Night.
Thanks, Morgan. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, y'all.
My security alarm keeps going off. I got deer herd walking through my yard continuously tonight.
There's one rifle away from your freezer.
Yeah. Oh man, I could fill up everybody's freezer in my yard.
Oh, shoot.
All 30,000 beekeepers down there. All 3,000, I should say.
Jason, I apologize, man. I didn't see you pop back in the bottom down there.
That's all right. I had to jump off real quick. Thanks for letting me come back in.
Do you feed those deer, Tom?
No, I don't. Well, yeah, I got a bunch of oak trees in my yard, so Mother Nature feeds them.
I got a guy I'm working for over here on the lake. He's got a bunch of deer around there, and he feeds them corn like almost every day. And so every afternoon, all the deer are sitting there waiting on him to bring the corn.
Nah, I do have on my 3 acres, I probably have close to 100 oak trees. I mean, they're at white oak trees and red oak trees and burr
Yeah.
oak trees everywhere on my property.
You have any turkeys?
Yeah, I got turkeys too, bobcats. We even had a bear about 10 years ago cut through the area, black bear.
Yeah.
And I'm on the
Had
west
bear.
side of Cincinnati.
I've
Where
had the
that
bear coming
came
through my
from.
yard about every spring, tearing up some hives.
No, I don't have that yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I've had that about 3 years now.
But I was getting more and more bears, and they're just on the east side of Cincinnati. And we had one male cut through the west side the other few years back.
We have a lot of bears here now. We used to not have bears when I grew up. We didn't have bears, beavers, turkeys, none of that. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah, I used to have a garden pond with a bunch of koi in it, and a mink kept showing up. And I would get rid of it, and another one show up. Then they would eat every fish in there.
Wow.
So I finally got rid of it, filled it in. It wasn't worth it. I was just feeding the minks.
Right.
Well, guys, we've been going for an hour and 44 minutes tonight, and wasn't planning to go a full 2 hours this evening because I didn't know what it was going to be like. But we still got 85 people in here.
Okay. Well, I gotta get to NAHBE tomorrow.
And so we're probably going to go ahead and close it down for this evening. And I appreciate all of you guys stopping by and chatting with us tonight, and enjoyed the conversations. And Jason, drive carefully and
drive fast. You were gonna say, what were you say about drive fast, take chances, I have insurance? Is that what you said?
That's it. Yep. That's it. Watch for ice patches.
Yeah, I have to watch out for Charlie. He'll be cutting through my neighborhood sometime tomorrow. I guess I'll have to stay off the road.
Jason, did you see where they look like they're calling for some snow when you guys, about time for you to come back?
Yeah, they're calling.
Yeah, right now they're only calling for an inch, less than an inch, and it'll be above freezing. So I don't think it'll be much.
I think they're calling for it in the mountains. They got to come back across the mountain.
We already had. I went through snow in the mountains of Ohio, Western Maryland.
There's a front coming from Texas coming up, and then there's a front coming from down, from the Rocky Mountains, cold front.
Yeah.
And I think the cold front's going to get here first. That's what they're thinking. And it'll be like 35, 30. It's supposed to be 40 degrees down Louisville. And I think Cincinnati's supposed to be 36 degrees. So it's just going to melt anyway.
It's 27 degrees here right now. I'm in Kentucky. About 180, 90 miles away from the Expo Center.
Yeah, you might get a little bit more of it. And by the time it gets to Virginia, it might combine into one storm. So who knows? Who knows east? Well, I
never
think
know until it gets there.
I think the rain's supposed to be over around 3 o'clock, mid-afternoon Saturday. So by the time of evening, we might just be chasing it as it moves east and we move east. Well, I'll be moving north and a little east.
I have a theory about weather, specifically snowstorms. When everybody's talking about it a week away, nothing ever happens. When no one talks about it, and then the next day it starts snowing, you didn't know about it, you get like a foot.
Yeah, we have the same forecasters.
Yep. All good. Well, Bob, you enjoy your time. I'm going to get back focus on the road here. And appreciate letting me come on and chit chat while I'm driving. So.
Oh, anytime, man.
Everyone, talk to you guys later.
See you, Jason.
All right, see you, Jason. See you tomorrow.
All right, guys. Well,
safe travels.
Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you on the next stream.
Good night,
everybody.
Right.
Bye, everybody.